Hello my lovelies, I hope you've been well. This video is actually going to be a little bit different. So this is like my pre-techokaigi, if that makes sense. Because what this video is going to do is I made this Notion template planner for myself, but also I'll share it with all you guys so you can follow along, or you can do it on your own time. But I just want to share this one as well because I feel like this actually gives me the mental clarity to actually go properly review my last year's planner and I guess find out what's working and what's not working, and then eventually I do my brand research and then we'll plan and then we'll make a decision on what we're getting. I hope this will be useful because we're in planner season now, and I just want to be very intentional because last year I wasn't being very intentional. So I have a few planners that I had but wasn't utilizing very well. So this year I want to try be really good and do this exercise from top to bottom and make sure that I'm not overloading myself with all the planner possibilities, because I have this tendency to want to do new planners, and when that happens sometimes I get the planner and then decide what I want to do with it, while you should actually do the other way around, where the planners that you get should actually have been intentionally for what you're going to use it for. So this year I'm gonna try to be better. So this is it. So if you're in the process of picking your planner systems and everything, I hope this will be useful. I'm just going to start quickly before I bore you guys with everything. This is basically the Notion planner. I've already filled up like half of it just because I don't want to waste your time me thinking and things like that, but that's what it mostly looked like. So I'll go through that with you guys just because I feel like this is a really good way to actually figure out what you like and what you don't and everything like that. So first section here is actually to review your current planner that you're using and see what you like or dislike. So initially I was just going to talk about this in the Notion, but I feel like it'll make way more sense if I actually open it up and explain it to you. So we're going to do this review with my hands and with my planners. So anyway, so the first one is my everything planner, which is the Take a Note A5. Love this planner, love it. So what I said is I like that I can customize it all I want, because this section is something I customize, and also a great thing about it, I don't know if you can see this, but there's lines, some of the lines are dotted and then some of the lines are more solid, so they already have some division about something, so it's easy for me to customize. I really like that about this. I like that the paper is really nice with fountain pens. Like you can see, this uses fountain pens and it barely ghosts. And I also like having this section so I can have my focus here, have my meals here, have all my to-dos, and have my habits and everything. So for me this really works, so I feel like I'm pretty close about keeping it for next year. What doesn't work is sometimes A5 feels a little bit big, because you can see sometimes like there's so many empty spaces. But the moment I actually change the layout, because I used to do all my memory keeping stuff on the top and everything else on the bottom, and ever since I flip that around, it's been much more filled, even though some sections are a little bit more empty, because like I don't do a lot more in the weekdays, I do a lot more in the weekends, but can always decorate little things like that, because I've been doing that for the last few weeks, and honestly that makes me happy. Just a little tiny bit of washi tapes and maybe some stamps and things like that can make me happy, so I want to do a lot more of that next year. So hopefully we'll get to do a lot more of that next year. So for monthly EDC, this one's actually very simple, because I just write down things that I get up to. Well, not really get up to, things that is planned. So when I know there's things that's coming, I actually write it down mostly in this one. I like that this is very thin and easy to include in my wall TN. But the thing that's not good about it is that I don't carry this as often as I would like. Usually I just take one of this holder, like this plastic holder with all my cards usually, but that's me issue, not really the planner issue, because the planner is working perfectly. It's just I don't use it as good as it should be. And then next we have my memory keeper, which is by Meow Illustration. I love this planner, right? Paper is amazing. The fountain pen looks so good on it. No ghosting, and like I like using stamps on this, you can see, but I'm so behind on this, and I don't know, like I don't think the system is working well because I'm so behind. Like I'm still on March and it feels like a little bit more of a chore to catch up and things like that. So I think for next year I might consider pre-decorating, maybe doing a whole month of just decorating on the spot and then writing it much later. So I'll see if that works, because, or I don't know, maybe I'll incorporate it into a video somehow, so I actually do it, because I feel like if I schedule it into a video, it's definitely getting done. So one of that. But I really love this planner. I really want to get it again this year, but ideally I don't know what I'm going to use it for, so I don't know. But I really love this planner, and it's breaking my heart if I can't get it next year because I don't know what to fill it with. So stay tuned, we'll see. So with my media journal, what I use is this Kiki delivery service diary. What I like about it is the layout is great because it's a week in 2 spreads. Because I don't watch that much, right? Usually like 1 episode per week and things like that. So this layout really works for me to do that. But also I'm really lazy about printing pictures, you guys. So that's one of the why it doesn't really work. So we'll see what we do, but I still really like to track down my media consumption and things like that, maybe even add musics and stuff next year. But I really like this, so I'm not sure if I want the media to be in a journal standalone like this, or just a section on my take a note, because as you can see there's like a few empty sections. Like I usually use one of this for review, and then this one could be like a media thing, like what I watch, what I think about it. It doesn't need to have a picture. So there you go. And then this is my doodle journal, but it didn't get used a lot at all. So what I was gonna do was to have these two. What I really wanted is to practice my doodling and drawing a little bit more, but obviously it didn't happen. It didn't even go through to January, you guys. It's on December, and then I gave up because I looked at this and I said, this is horrible. I'm never gonna get better. So it's empty and it makes me sad. But maybe, you know what, maybe I'll reuse it for this year. Maybe I'll try again this year with this, because it feels sad that it's not getting anything. But maybe I can, you know, try again for next year. So like I can ignore the dates probably. There you go. Didn't get used, makes me sad. But also I did only get this two for the cover, you guys, because I figured, you know, next year if I want it, I can just take out the cover and then use it for something else. So there you go. I'm not too sad not using that. My Madoni One Day One page is my commonplace. So these have like things that I read or other things and notes and things like that. So far I really like it. I really like the layout. I just feel like it can do a little bit more stuff, so maybe I'll start decorating on this one as well. My what doesn't work is how do I remember to actually write things that I want to remember in here, like learning wise and life wise, like anecdotes and things like that. So but I don't mind for this to take up to a few years to fill up because they're undated. That's why we love an undated planner. So that's what my lineup is like this year, and I hope you like reviewing that with me, seeing what I like, what I don't like, and things like that. So we're going to go to the next section, and I'll go straight to screen recording again because it's so much easier that way. See you in the screen recording. So there's also a section for what else would you want to add into your lineup. For me, I want to add some sort of meal planning because I want to be more intentional about what I eat and what I put in my body, because I've been eating a lot of junk this year and it wasn't nice. And I do want some health tracking for low blood pressure and my gym stuff. So that will be some extra stuff. And what is not working and would like to change or remove, my doodle journal. I still want to try this, but maybe I'm dated, so less pressure. And I also am thinking about maybe putting it this. So I only also put maybe putting in this in a wallet TN to actually doodle while waiting in transit and things like that. It's already time that you already wasting waiting or in the bus or still things like that. And media journal, how do I make printing pictures easier, or maybe even not have pictures? Okay, from knowing what works and what doesn't and what can be improved and what you want to add, now you actually just list down all the things that you need. I like to kind of divide it by type, so things like, because eventually what I would like to do is sort this into a few planners and see what makes sense. Category is whatever you want it to be. If you want to categorize it, you can. If not, then not big of a deal. I just like categorizing it because some of my stuff falls under personal, some falls under my side project stuff, my marcsmellow stuff, and then there's media and health and learning and things like that. So that's why category kind of works for me. For the layout section is more like how do you see yourself tracking it or taking note of it. So there's a few things like monthly, weekly, daily, even undated or dated. I guess you can add a yearly in as well. Yeah, actually I am gonna add a yearly. So because like habit tracker, it can be weekly or yearly, but it has to be dated. That's my requirement anyway. For my personal shop social media to-dos, I would like to separate all of them and have them on a weekly or personal. I feel like weekly is better. Shop and social media might be able to do monthly, but essentially I would like it to be weekly more. Then there's package stuff that I'm waiting on. Media log is weekly or monthly. Oh, oops. I guess I'm just gonna, yeah. And the memory keeper, I either would like it weekly or daily, but it also has to be dated. For events, it's monthly because I don't track it every day. I think monthly look would be nice and dated. Quick jot memory keeper. And is there anything I'm missing? I think a weekly review. Sometimes I like to do this for both my personal and marcsmellow stuff, where I actually every week I would review my week for like wins, struggles, and things like that. Or actually monthly would be good, but my monthly is mostly in Notion. Actually, that's a good point. Like some of this actually gets tracked in Notion, but it's not in here always. So yeah. So anyway, I also have this section if is there any additional requirements. So depending on what you like, your experience, you might know that there's certain things that works for you or not. Like for me, the paper must be either Tomoe River paper or anything fountain pen friendly, because I use a lot of fountain pens and I would like to use a lot of fountain pens for my planners. So that's a big requirement for me. For planner, I must be able to customize it, so I don't want a bit too rigid that I can't customize how I need it. And I also like to, change it up in the middle of the year and things like that. So I must be able to, it must be free forming enough for me to be able to like change this and that, so I don't get bored. So I also want to make my own layout for next year, probably for memory keeping and stuff. This is not really a requirement, but I don't know why I put it there. So I like minimal, so not a lot of colors, no ruled lines. I don't like ruled lines. For planner, I like it to be grid, and for memory keeper, it must be blank. And then for planner, I would like it to be dated, but memory keeper, planner and memory keeper, I do like it to be dated, but I also want to do my own layout, so we'll see how it goes. Now that we've already gotten all the requirements, it's time to do some brand research. With brand research, you kind of put it under the umbrella of the brand, but you already have thoughts about which one would work in your system. So do look at the brand, but also look at all the planners inside it. And then take some notes, because that's what I did. And then there's just a verdict yes or no if you decide you want to know more about that planner and see if it fits in your system. Also, I do have this in like collapsible, just because when I was doing it, I just want to focus on things. So usually I collapse the next ones and just focus on the current ones. So I did a fair bit of research, as you can tell. I'll take you through it a little bit. But this is basically the section where you actually look at the brand, but also the paper, the layout, the thickness. If you're like me and you like light lines that is barely there, then you look at the thickness of the lines. You look at like if they're even shipped to your place, right? Because you don't know with all those things. So this is just basically like very rough research. And when you're doing this research, do keep in mind your requirements, but you don't have to make the decision straight away. But if you already make it, then props to you. So with me, this is some of the brands that I was researching on. Travel's notebook, same as last year. I like the monthly passport events for last year. Also wondering if weekly will work for media journal, because it's not that big, so it might work. I also really like the take a note this year. Possibility of it is endless. Like I can customize it however much I want. Definitely considering it for next year as well, just because of how great it's been working this year for me. They also have a new bi-weekly layout, and that is great for maybe media journaling, because I don't write a lot and I don't watch that much. Because with movies, you can get one every day, but I usually watch series. For the Hobonichi, I did flirt a lot about the idea of that. The system really intrigues me, but I don't know if it really fits in my system. The weekly size might be too small. I did try it last year. Original size A6 might be too big because I work full time and there's not a lot of things for me to write, because everything usually lives in Notion. I've always wanted to try it one year, but I don't know if it's gonna be this year, basically. Muji paper I also really love. It's affordable and good quality. It also has my favorite size, which is the B6 size. The horizontal layout worked for me once upon a time. I don't know if it's gonna work for me again, but I really like that layout. Vertical layout I've used as well, and it always have intrigued me, but I don't know what to use it for. But ruled lines on the vertical I don't really like. So with creative papers, there's not many different layouts, even though I do really like the designs. With Faded Chronicle, they're undated, and my requirement is to have my planners dated, so that's definitely out of the picture. With Paper Tests, there's a layout that I really, really like. Anyway, I'll show it later. But with Paper Test, there's a weekly notebook that I really like. It has section for habits and to-dos, and that makes me very, very excited for that. But the section looks a little bit small, so it's a maybe for now. Sterling ink, I like that they have TN sizes, but the layout is exactly like the TN vertical or horizontal for the weeks. I also like the lines are lighter. I also find the research a little bit annoying because their website isn't actually updated, or I don't know, maybe I have errors on my side, so I had to actually watch their video and just scrub through it, so it's not a nice UX for me to research, so I just don't like that. But it's not no because of the research part, but it's just because, like, you know, the layout is exactly like the TN vertical and horizontal, and the TN vertical has less lines and grids because I do like mine a little bit more blank. So with Nothing Planner, it's interesting because the layout is sort of like the 10, but just slightly different. Unfortunately, I can't get it in Australia, so Thinking of You, I still love that book so much, so I don't know, maybe I would want it again next year, so it's there anyway. Our Studio and Mirror Illustration, I put in the one because their layout is exactly the same, and I always love the Mirror Illustration, but I don't know if I can use it. I don't have anything to use it on for this year, so we'll see. And for Plotter, I'm also very intrigued that you can move things around because it's a rings. Would also love to try the system out next year or someday, but the inserts are so hard to get in Australia. The inserts and the cover both, so it's in a maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna get it or anything. Twine and paper is cute, but too much space on a weekly for me. Usually some of this, right, like twine and paper and outright style, just because I browsed through it and then I realized I don't like it, so I haven't actually researched the feasibility of me getting it, because with just the initial research it's already a no, if that makes sense. So Aura Estelle, I didn't really like the font use. The line seems too dark, there's too many daily pages, so it's a no for me because I don't really need that much daily pages. Haru Planner is very interesting because it has inbuilt gratitude journal, which is very nice. There's also a horizontal and vertical layout. There's a minimal splash of colors. It's like gray with a little bit of yellow. It's very nice. I actually really love the design, but it won't fit to what I need. And they don't have a 2025 page yet. The ones that I was looking at was actually their 2024 release. And another one is my own insert to memory keeping, and this is to design my own and try new layouts to see what I like, and I get to make printables at the same time, so it's a win-win. So there you go, that's all my brand research. And from this, I actually get some of the verdicts, like some of the yeses and maybes and nos. So this will be very useful down the line. So this also this little note that I have for myself, things to consider. Does the planner meet all your needs? How much customization can you do? Do you want to do, and can you do? Because I do like customizing my planner. Make sure all your planners have purpose. And also the big tip is actually trial some of your spreads. I did last year. One of my friend that owns the what I did last year was one of my good friend that owns the Take a Note was not really using hers, so she gave me a few pages of the Take a Note for me to try on, and that really helps determine if that's gonna work for me this year or not. So my tip for you is actually try out the planner that you are gonna use before you actually get it. How? You can either find the pages in the website and print it off and then just scribble over it, and just to find out if that's gonna work for you. If like me, you have some friends locally that has that planner that you're looking at, maybe ask them if you can either take a picture of an empty page or photocopy it just for trial purposes. I'm not condoning you photocopying the whole journal, but this is just to actually test if it's gonna fit your needs for the next year. So either that, or you can get the picture from the website to either print it and then scribble over it, or if you have an iPad, you can also just scribble over it in the iPad to try. So there's a few different ways for you to try doing that, and I've done that last year and I find it game changing in that you can actually plan on it and try it for a bit so you know if it's gonna fit your needs or not. That's also a maybe for me. I really like the layout and I think it will work for my needs, but I'm unsure what to use with the notes pages because they have like a full spread of notes pages every week, but maybe nice for notes or reviews. And also there's no news if it's going to be out next year yet, so it's in the maybe. So yeah, so that's all the things you consider. So for planner research and consideration, this is all the aggregated view of the things that you already put yes or maybe on. The no ones wouldn't show here because it's already in the no, so there's no point dwelling on it if you already said it's a no. So these are mostly for the yes and the maybe that you put in here. It'll come up here, and then from this, what I like to do, this is optional. If you already know from here what you're going to do, feel free to skip this step. This is just for me to kind of look at it even deeper, because I like to make this for each of the ones I'm considering. Like most of the ones, this a lot of this, but with hours and thinking of you, because they're like a little bit of a older planner for me. I don't really need to draw it down again, so I usually just only do it for the planners that are still quite new and I don't know 100% about it. So I did do it on 6 planners. So take a note, Hobonichi Weeks and A6 Techo Planner, and the Travels Notebook Weekly Passport, the Paper Test Weekly Notebook, and the Take a Note Slim B Weekly Planner thing. So with all of this, for some of it I haven't really finished because I got really rushed in the end, but I like to put in the contents of it, like if it's monthly, weekly, and then there's note pages, or if it's just weekly and things like that. You can also have the layout out as well, with the layout in here as well. So I can just click on this one. Actually, if you click on it, it'll show you what the thing looks like. So if that's something you like to do, you can do something like that as well. And then some of these, it's linked. So with this one for the weekly passport, if you click on it, then I have it in the picture from the website, just so that I remember what it looks like, kind of thing. You can also input the pictures here, but it didn't work for me. Like Notion was doing something weird. But anyway, I like to see all the layouts and what I like and what I dislike, and these are just extra info when the pre-order is, what's the website and things like that. So I feel like that would be useful. So with like the take a note, I said I like the layout and the paper's great with fountain pen. My dislike is that the A5 size is a little bit too big. And then for Hobonichi Weeks, the layout used to work for me back then. It's easy to customize because of the blank page, but it's a little too narrow and the week is squished in a little page, which I didn't really like. Yes, things like that, basically, like writing what you like and what you dislike. Like for this Slim B Weekly, it's like 2 weeks in the spread, some layout as my media journal this year's, but the dates are a little dark. Do you see how this is? It's very, very strong. So I feel like if I wanna do the way I was doing my media journal, is a little bit different, because it's I like to paste picture and then write freehand and things like that. So I think those wouldn't really work if I do it in my if I use it for my media journal. And also there's too much notes pages. I don't even know what I'm gonna use it for. And for Hobonichi A6 Techo, I like that it's a new layout. I haven't tried that layout before, but I don't really like the crinkly paper, and it's A6 per day. It's way too big. Like, what am I gonna fill them with? Because usually Monday to Friday I'm just working mostly, and I don't really write a lot. So, and the Paper Takes Weekly Notebook is actually I'm very interested in, because their layout is pretty cool. Like, I can use this for what I get up to during the day, even though that's very small section for that. There's also this section that I like, the to-dos, but it might not be big enough for me. But this one, I'm not sure what to use with it. I guess I can use it for habit tracker, but I think it's a little bit too big for a habit tracker, so I don't think I like the layout, and I like how specific it is, but I don't actually think that's gonna work for me. So I hope like going through that makes you feel you know more about what you need and what can work and what to use, and like visualize everything. So this section, this is our last section, is where you actually take through all your requirements and then you plot it to a planner. So remember all these requirements that you've done on the top, like what your needs are for a planner. That's what is being shown in here, and then these are gonna be your planner. So like with this one, I'm definitely getting Take a Note A5 again this year. I'm also getting the Travels Notebook. Oh, cannot spell. Also getting the Travels Notebook monthly, so it's gonna be there. And then we'll see. So let's just go through all this and we'll plot it down. So take a note, A5 personal to-dos. It's also going to be my everything planner this year. So shop, this is going to be over really quickly because I'm just going to dump everything on a take a note. So personal to-dos, social media to-dos, shop to-do is all going to be in A5. Health tracking and my meal planning, I'm not sure where this will go for now. Events are going to my notebook monthly. Content planning is going to be in take a note monthly. Habit tracker also in my take a note. Weekly review also in my take a note. But also I want to put on my Notion. So okay, I'll do another one for monthly review. And layout is monthly. So my monthly review is there. Also my budget tracker is in my Notion. That's a daily thing, daily and monthly, so that goes in there as well. My focus is definitely in the take a note. Waiting for package, also take a note. Memory keeper, this is the one I still don't know. It's either my own or thinking of you. But essentially that's going to be a book by itself. So I'm going to move my memory keeper in here. My commonplace is still on the Midori one day one page. So I'll go on this one and write Midori one day one page. And then quick jot memory keeper is going to be in the take a note as well. Media log, I had a different journal for it before, which I like, but what I'm going to try next year is to add the media log into my take a note, just because there's some sections that are empty in my take a note, and I think I can use that for now just to see if I actually do really miss having the media stuff in a different book. And that also might let me actually take some of the highlights, maybe every month just do one, into either like a K-drama journal or like a media journal that's a little bit more collagey. I think that I like that a bit more, so I think that's what I'm gonna try to do next year. And health training and meal planning, I think it will just go into my take a note as well, just because I don't think I can see it in a different planner. With us doing all this, we know that I will be getting the take a note A5 next year, the travel notebook monthly insert, and then my Notion is I'm just gonna move it here, and then either doing my own memory keeper or doing the thinking of you memory keeper, and my Midori one day one page I've already gotten. So these are the two, this is the only two that I'm gonna get next year, and then I'll see where the thinking of you is. It makes me a little bit sad because that means I have no space for the meal illustration planner, which I really love. So I will see if I caved in and ended up doing my media in that. But when more details on that comes, I will have to do some more rejigging maybe with this, but for now this is the plan. But it makes me feel good that next year I'm only going to be getting 2, possibly 3 planners, rather than this year where I go a little bit much. But for me, this is helpful to go through and see what you need, and then plotting it into the planners, and I hope that will work for you. I will include links. I'll put this in my Gumroad. It will be free, or you can also pay what you feel like it's worth. So I'm just hoping that this will help you and give you a little bit more clarity about your Techokaigi, because I know when planner system happens, there's a lot of FOMO and you feel like you need to get this, get that, and everything, and you haven't really considered like your whole planning system as a whole. So I really hope this is useful for you, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. I have a video coming as well where I'll be talking through all the planners that I've used like the last few years, and what I like and dislike about it. So hopefully that will be useful as well for this, but I will leave you there for now. I hope you like the template, and if you do try it and if you find it useful, be helpful to if you let me know about it. So if you have any suggestion, do tell me as well, so I can improve it maybe for next year, and then we can have something better, even better next year. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope it's something you enjoy. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye. Oh, I cannot spell. Hello.